What is going on, pickleballers? Today's guest is the pickleball evangelist, Dan Beeman. Dan has been profiled on top pickleball magazines as well as some podcasts. He's authored an award-winning film script, Superlative Pickleballs, and he even wrote his graduate dissertation on pickleball in the hospitality industry. Right now, Dan is running and owns his pickleball travel business, Superlative Pickleball Travel Club, which provides resort certification, consulting, and travel services, including group pickleball trips. Dan, it sounds like you eat, breathe, and sleep pickleball. Welcome to the podcast, man.
And I'm drinking it out of a fire hose. Being in a startup business and in the pickleball world, that's a multiplier. We're moving fast, aren't we, brother?
Oh, absolutely. And pickleball is just shooting off. But before we get into your pickleball business, you went to graduate school where you wrote a pickleball paper. Can you talk more about that? That was a dissertation.
Yeah. When I turned 50, I retired from my business doing partnership marketing, sports marketing. And I had this dream of getting my master's degree and then going and living on an island in Belize and managing a little boutique resort. That was my dream. But then I got into graduate school and I got into a bad car accident. And that was pretty tough on me. Took me away from tennis and a lot of my dreams, but it led me to pickleball. And so for my final paper, I was getting my master's in hotel administration. I wrote a lot of articles about sustainable tourism in the Caribbean and is tourism sustainable? Well, that's philosophical. We can go down that road if we want. But I wrote my final paper, on the implications of pickleball for the hospitality industry. That was 4.5 years ago. So it was way ahead of the curve. And I call it gave me like a telescope to the future because I could see in 2019, in the spring of 2019, that it was going to blow up. And I can tell you about the conclusions from the paper if you're interested.
Oh, absolutely. What did you find out?
Well, I looked at it from the resort perspective, not the consumer perspective. So what I found was resorts that either had tennis or basketball courts and did not at least temporarily convert some of that space to pickleball. Those resorts were not maximizing their asset value. They were not driving as much revenue as they could, and they were missing out on enhancing the guest experience. So the conclusion was any resort that doesn't add them is not being efficient, and they could copy the Airbnb or the Uber model in utilizing unutilized space a little bit better to maximize their asset value.
So pickleball is the number one sport that people look for, the number one activity when they look for a resort?
It's top. I can't say it's the number one, but more and more it's becoming desirable. And resorts that are on top of their game should look to add that. And you're seeing a lot of articles that are out there talk about resorts adding that as an amenity to attract new guests.
And is that kind of what led you onto this path of creating a pickleball travel club and pickleball travel club business?
Oh, great question. To a certain degree, my passion was in representing the resorts and helping them increase their experience. I was a scuba instructor back in the day, and there's an entity known as PADI, Professional Association of Dive Instructors. About 30 years ago, they saw that there was reluctance on the part of divers to dive at places around the world that might not have met certain minimum standards. So they created a certificate of excellence program for their resorts. And the resorts could then advertise the fact that they met certain minimum standards. The consumers felt safer about going to those environments, going to those resorts and diving. So I applied that same model of the PADI scuba instructor certification to one for resorts where they could get certified by meeting certain minimum standards and advertise the fact that, yes, they had a quality pickleball experience there. That would enable them also to draw more guests and drive more revenue.
Wow. Okay, so that's fascinating. So you took the scuba aspect of everything and then you applied it to pickleball. And I would imagine it's the same sort of thing, right? Where pickleball instructors, if they go somewhere that's certified, it's just a better overall atmosphere and experience.
Well, it gives you the trust in the experience. If you're a consumer, here's a good example. Ben Johns does pickleball getaways and the Moore family does the trips. And, God bless them. They're pioneers in the travel industry, but if you ask them, they had to bring their own nets their own lines and their own equipment, and they're borrowing tennis courts and they're taping down lines and they're just trying to make do pickleball for their experiences. What I wanted to do is make the resorts step up their game and provide certain minimum standards according to USA Pickleball, so that when we go on vacation, they say they have pickleball. That means they really have pickleball, not, taped lines and crappy nets and unusable equipment. So that gave them that standard. Okay, we meet those certain standards. We can advertise the fact that, we're going to provide a quality experience for the guests.
Wow. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you guys kind of go in and you expect resorts to kind of raise their game to give the pickleballer and the instructors just the best experience possible.
Yeah, I mean, we deserve it, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, I'm with you, Dan. I mean, I'm not stopping you. And so what exactly does that look like? What do you
Yeah, well, it's pretty cool. So they just need to pledge to meet the certain minimum standards during our beta phase until January 2024. And then we're going to be going out to all the resorts and we're going to be inspecting them to make sure they meet those certain specifications. If they don't and they want to get certified, we have our consulting services and we help them get certified we have a partnership with Pickleball. So we encourage that the resorts use Pickleball as their vendor to purchase the courts that can be rolled out or installed. And they have deals with net manufacturers and paddle manufacturers. So we refer the equipment business over to Pickleball and we help the resorts meet those certain minimum standards. So that's the business side of the business that I developed. But you referenced the Pickleball Travel Club, and that's a whole different business.
Okay. So then what's the Pickleball Travel Club?
So what we did was we created a free travel club, and we offer all of our Pickleball Travel Club members $100 off our group trips in 2023. The catch is that we will only take our trips to resorts that we have certified, so that the people in our club know that they're going to get, number one, a great deal by the $100 off, two, quality pickleball experiences, and three, a certified property that they know it's going to be fun and they're going to have other people that they can enjoy playing pickleball with in a good environment.
Wow. Okay. And what are some of the top destinations that have been in 2023 already or that you have yet to do? I mean, what can people look forward to of where to go?
Yeah, our first certified resort is a brand new one in Grand Cayman. They just opened in July. They've got 12 dedicated outdoor courts, and we're going to be bringing a group. We actually rented out a whole hotel right next to the beach in Grand Cayman, and we're going to be going from December 1st through the 8th. Now, what we're all about is not necessarily the camps or the instructions or the intensity of a tournament. We're all about fun. So we want you to come and do some round robins and play some duper level court play and have fun recreational games. But then it's all inclusive. So you get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then in the afternoon, the true addicts can come back and play more. Or we want people to go to the beach, sail, scuba, do what they want to do. So our motto is all about fun for the players, and we like to choose resorts that are all inclusive so that it's natural for people to get together and have their meals together and socialize and really enjoy pickleball as part of the experience, but knowing that they can count on an excellent pickleball experience.
Sounds like a fun trip for pickleballers and people that, like you said, just want to go and have some fun. Do you get on the courts with them or are you on the sidelines?
Yeah, I totally get on. I love pickleball, but I'm one of those guys that taps pedals before we start and say, let's have fun, just to kind of set the tone. And often the people I compete with will say, yeah, winning is fun. So yeah, we'll be having fun when we beat your ass. But we do like to have a lot of fun getting on the courts and playing. And I love pickleball. I love the culture. I love the socialization. And again, our trips are focused on fun, not the intensity of the, drilling for 3 hours. It's all about going, having some fun, and we got some really great special components to our trips.
I mean, that sounds fantastic. Sounds like a pickleballer's dream. And to go off of the Pickleball Travel Club and all these awesome trips, you also wrote a movie. Is that right?
I did, and what a blast that was. It was so much fun to write. The movie is called Superlative Pickleballs, and the reason it's called Superlative Pickleballs is pretty funny as well. I can't say how much fun it was to write it. To dumb it down, to make it simple for the listener, the movie is basically Talladega Nights, with pickleball instead of NASCAR. So literally, when I wrote this with my cousin, we channeled Will Ferrell and Sacha Baron Cohen. We had an absolute blast, laughing our rear ends off, just writing it and having fun. Now, selling it to Hollywood, that's not the fun part. And that's been going on for over 3 years. But it was really a lot of fun to write. And the good news about the movie script is that it's in the hands of, and they have attached to the film. They want to get it made. I'd rather, that's my personal preference. And I hope it's going to be made soon. But the great news for pickleball lovers is that pickleball is the hero. It's not mocking pickleball. Pickleball offers redemption for two guys that are down on their luck after having a life of misadventures. So great feel-good story, a lot of fun, a lot of laughter, and really enjoyed writing it. In fact, let's see, can you see it? That's the poster behind me. It's about two guys, as you can see, and they're driving around in a van together, and they compete in pickleball tournaments, trying to reclaim their glory and earn a little redemption.
And I think that story could kind of be the microcosm of the macro that is pickleball. And it kind of offers everyone a little redemption or a little chance to get back out there and play some games, whether it's fun or in a tournament style. But pickleball's been great for me and my family. And it seems like that's kind of a nationwide or almost worldwide at this point motif.
Well said. And the other fun part is that, we all know there's a little tension with tennis in pickleball. So I play into that in a fun way. In that the club where my main protagonist gets fired from on the opening scene of the movie is converting from tennis to a full-time pickleball club.
I have seen it happen from many people. At first they mock it, and then they try it, and then they love it. Wow, I mean, you have a lot of stuff going on with pickleball. What else can we look forward to from you?
Well, so we're in the negotiation stages of selling the rights to the film. I want to get that out there. And then here's the connection between the film and the travel business. Superlative is not the easiest word to say, but it's an important part of our brand. Superlative is an ongoing joke between the two main characters. One of the main characters is an arrogant American who thinks he's the best in everything that he does, and the other one is a communist Russian who's very deeply philosophical. At one point, the American was bragging about how great he was at tennis and everything that he had and did in his life. And the Russian said, that's interesting. We have a drinking game in Russia. Whenever we watch an American movie and we hear them call themselves some sort of superlative, we say, superlative drink! So it's actually a drinking game inside of a movie that leads to a brand that launches a travel business.
Wow. And is that actually a drinking game in Russia?
No, I made it up.
Okay. Wow, you have quite the creative mind there.
I have fun, yes.
I mean, that is awesome. Well, I hope that we can see this movie soon. I mean, it sounds like a blast. And the fact that you said it's kind of like Talladega Nights, one of my favorite comedy movies ever. So, I mean, I can't wait to see this thing.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too, because, as much as Steve Kuhn has done for the pickleball industry and the folks over at the PPA and the APP and, all of the tournaments and all of the stuff that's going on, in my opinion, there's no greater promotional platform for the sport of pickleball than a theatrically released movie that's a comedy that will become a cult classic.
In this travel club, I think you said it was the largest in the US or maybe worldwide for pickleball at the moment. Is it free to join, or how do we get on there?
Yeah, well, what I did was I saw that I was representing the resorts and trying to help them increase their standards. So I looked at the other side of the equation. I thought, how are the pickleballers being represented? How are we, coming together as a group? And, as you already articulated, this is a sport that's all about community. And one of the mechanisms can be travel. So we all are kind of evangelists of the sport. So how do we evangelize that? We go outside of our community and we reach new places. Well, what does travel do? That brings pickleball to new destinations where we can bring local communities in and get involved. But the Pickleball Travel Club is all about a club. It's about that sense of community, traveling with fellow pickleballers, enjoying playing pickleball together, experiencing new cultures and new things to do and meeting new people, and then spreading that love and that passion that we have. So I can't believe how fast it's grown. Our objective was to have 100,000 members by the end of this year, and we're approaching 100,000 already right now in the month of August. So we're loving it. People are loving being part of the group, and we are going to be bringing trips all over the world. We not only promote our trips, but we promote everyone. Anybody who has a trip that wants to go anywhere in the world promoting pickleball, we'll let them promote that on our website.
I mean, that is fantastic. And that just goes to the community aspect. Not only are you giving back to the pickleball community, but you're opening up for everyone. That's fantastic. But I don't know if you answered it, but how do you join? How do people join?
Free to join, first and most important thing. And if you join, you get $100 off our group trips in 2023. That's another cool perk. All you got to do is go to our website, superlativepickleball.net.com or .org. We got them all. Superlative Pickleball.
Right on. Well, you're absolutely on top of it. Any last words for the listeners, for the viewers?
Yes. When you play, tap paddles in advance. Know that pickleball is a great community of bringing people together to socialize, get in better mental and physical fitness, and have fun.
There you go, everyone. Dan, the pickleball evangelist. You're the man.
Thanks, Tyler.